Hiya guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a first on the channel, and we're going to be talking about some of our favourite opening scenes in horror movies ever.
Yes. So we got 5 picks. Like usual, we got 2 each and a shared one. So my first pick is 2007's 28 Weeks Later. And it's a tough to follow up such a classic film. I mean, I absolutely love 28 Days Later. And number three's coming out soon, finally. It's been
We're getting
taken.
another two movies.
I thought it was going to be three.
Oh, there may be three, but there's two being filmed now.
Right, yeah. So this is it's a follow-on, but they haven't got the same characters as the last one. It's just another family. And the setup for this opening scene is awesome. So you got Robert Carlyle and his wife. I play Alice, and they're in a house. They hold up the place is sealed off, wooden boards on the wall, on the windows and whatnot, and everything seems quite calm. And then the shit hits the fan, the zombies get in and they storm the house. Classic zombie opening. But what makes this unique is that Robert Carlyle chooses to leave his wife in fear, just runs out and leaves her to face the zombies, and just has a moment of madness. And he's running from the farm. It's so good. He's running, and he's down the hill. And you can see a storm of zombies chasing him. It is the most tense zombie opener I've ever seen. And even though I prefer the first film, this is probably the best scene of all the films. Those two films,
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. It is an absolute standout scene. I remember the first time I watched it, and it's so gut-wrenching, like the decision he makes.
Yeah,
Other than it just being an epic scene, it's the decision that he makes, and that leaves a mark on you, and I think that's what makes a great opening. I can just picture like Robert Carlyle because he's quite a cool guy, and I
yeah,
think
he's
he's
awesome.
quite a bit of a hard nut. Like,
Yeah,
I can imagine him reading the script and being like, "I wouldn't do that.
No.
I wouldn't leave my wife. Nah,
Begbie wouldn't do that.
Begbie wouldn't do that.
No way.
Nah, change it."
It's so good though. Do you know when you're the shot of them when the camera
It's the
pans?
shaky shots as well when he's running.
Oh, but because they're running downhill as well, they're gaining ground on him, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah.
my god, this is proper. This moment is part of zombies that I love. I don't really care about one-on-one zombies. When it's hordes chasing people,
Oh, 100%.
that's what I love. I absolutely love
And
it.
running zombies as well.
Yes,
You're just helpless.
yeah.
I'd survive a walking zombie apocalypse, I reckon.
Oh, easy, no
I'm
problem.
quite nimble.
Yeah, I know. They running ones, forget it. They just might just give up.
Yeah, and not just running, arms frailing when they do
Yeah.
that.
And
Do you know what I mean?
And
You've
these
never
guys,
seen a zombie running neatly like that. They've always got their arms frailing like.
is that neat to you?
Yeah, you got like the power walk like.
Yeah. Morning. Yes.
Hat off.
Right.
Right.
What do you got?
Great pick, Jenks. Patience, we're getting there. Right, my first pick is one of my favourite openings of all time, and not just because it's a great opening, it is a great opening, but just because of how much it meant to me, right, to be watching this movie, and it's 2013's Evil Dead. And I remember watching this one in cinema, right, and I grew up loving Evil Dead. It was my favourite franchise of all time. It's one of the movies I always went back to on a weekly basis. So when Evil Dead came out in 2013, it's the most excited I've ever been for a
me
movie.
too.
Went to cinema with my dad, who showed me Evil Dead. We grew up watching it together. Well, I grew up watching it with him. Grew up with my dad.
No, you didn't grow up.
And then I'm sitting in cinema, right? The most excited I've ever been, and that opening comes on.
yeah.
You've got the woods, that horrible dark cinematography,
Yeah.
really grim, nasty look. And then you've got a family who are unrelated to the main story, and you've got a father and his daughter. His daughter's obviously been taken over by a deadite, and then you're down in the basement. She's tied up to one of the posts, and you've got all those horrible hillbilly-looking characters, and the father's got to make a horrible decision, and it's such a well-done scene. He lights her on fire. He's got the shotgun in her face, and it's just so well put together.
Yeah.
It's one of the best openings ever, and it's the best experience I've had watching a movie. Like, you see that opening and you're like, oh my god, I'm about to watch an Evil Dead movie.
Yeah. And it's,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it sets the tone. The violence in the opening scene sets the tone of like, oh, this is going to be relentless, and it is
Of course,
all the way through.
Just before he sets her light and he says, I love you, baby. And then she just changes. She goes from his daughter to a deadite, and the way her face changes. She looks awesome. The flames are great. She's got great contacts.
Yeah.
And you finish that scene, right? And you go, oh my God, what am I in for? And going back to 2013 when that came out, I watched that in theatre 4 times, right? On this original run, 4 times in cinema, because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I went back 2 days in a row, then I had a break, went again and went again.
Yeah.
Amazing. Outstanding opening.
You sad bastard.
I love you, baby.
Yeah, no, awesome pick. Right, my next pick is another zombie movie.
Oh, Jenks, man.
I know,
Enough.
I swear to God, right? I made this list and I just only now realised that they're both zombies. Right, it's Dawn of the Dead. 2004's Dawn of the Dead. I know, but I didn't want to include it. But it is one of the greatest openings. You can love or hate the remake. Don't care what you think of it, but you cannot dispute the opening scene.
Can I just say one thing, Jenks? Just one thing, right?
What?
When we did our Halloween video, Halloween movie set on Halloween, I wanted to put in Halloween 3, and you said, we've talked about that before, go for new original picks, right? And I was dying to talk about it again. I watched it the night before we did the video, again, to refresh my memory, and I weren't allowed to have it.
But
so what have you got to say for yourself?
This is you were going to talk about the film in its entirety. This is just the opening scene, okay? Right? So the tone is awesome, right? You have this sense that of doom coming around the corner, where you've got this eerie feeling in the hospital, where you got people come in with bites, and the tone, the lighting is so eerie. She's driving home, and you even got Stereophonics, Welsh band, on the radio. Have a nice day. So all these things are like so calming. Of like, everything's fine. They go home, and you've got Lois, her boyfriend or husband. I think it's quite vague, and they even talk about this singing competition they're watching, like an X Factor or a Pop Idol. They make a mention.
It's normality, like.
Yeah, they're really pushing the sort of like, this is a normal couple, a normal day. She's overworked nurse, and then they go to bed, and the little girl from next door just comes in, and they think she's just lost, and she's infected. They don't know anything about the virus. Bites Lewis, infects him, comes back as a fucking zombie, and it's such an incredibly scary scene with this little girl, and they use that in the promotion of it, the opening scene.
Yeah.
And what I love about it as well is when he dies for the infection, she's on the phone, and she didn't realize he's got up, and he's in him for a moment. He's confused, looking at the wall, and only when she calls his name does he see her and run at her, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. So she escapes, gets out, and it is actually, as she gets out of the bathroom and escapes him, it's
Armageddon.
It's dawn as well, which I love.
Yeah.
Obviously, the original dawn was a metaphor for the start of hell. But this is literally dawn, and the shit has hit the fan. And it's a fucking awesome opening.
Yeah, I'll forgive you, Jenks. I'll lay you off this one time, right? Because it is a great opening. It's definitely one that has a lasting effect on you, and I think they are the best openings.
Yes, definitely.
So I'll forgive you. But you seeing, right, we have this is a movie in its entirety, or we're just going to talk about a movie at the start. We're going to start doing videos like the best middle of a movie. We're going to talk about just the middle. And Jenks said, well, we haven't spoke about the middle of the movie.
I tell you what would be a good idea, a video on the best time to go to the toilet or text in a film. like good films that have moments where you can go to the toilet in the cinema. I bet no one's done that. Somebody's steal that.
This isn't live. Let's get it out before we drop this video. No one can hear us.
We probably won't.
You'll soon find out when you're watching this video on our YouTube, right? You go back and check if we've done it. If we have, great.
Yeah, we definitely haven't.
Right. So my second pick, and again, this is an opening that had a lasting effect on me. Now, there are so many big eccentric openings, right? Ghost Ship comes to mind, right? It's got a massive opening, awful after that.
Yep.
But I was thinking of movies that had an effect on me. So you put a movie on, it starts, and whatever mood you're going to be in throughout that film, it starts with the start, right? And I've got Insidious, right? And for me, I know I've spoken about this lots. I'm making fun of you for Dawn of the Dead. Insidious all the time. It is one of my favourite horror movies. And I've actually spoke about the opening as well, but I don't care. But the first time I watched this movie, it was the scariest experience I'd ever had watching a film. And they set it up perfectly in the opening scene. You've got Josh as a young boy. It starts off, the camera's just, and it's such a basic opening, right? So simple, but it's done so well. And you've got him sleeping in bed, and then the camera just moves, right? And it's panning through the house. You've got the build-up of the violins, the fantastic score in that movie. Oh my God. No horror film like it. And the camera is just going through the house, and then you catch a glimpse of something in the window, and you see a shadow of someone that moves out the way, and then the camera follows it, and then you get a glimpse of the bride in black. Oh, I got goosebumps now talking about it. It is the scariest opening ever. And then the camera just stays on her, and she's just standing there. Almost doesn't look lifelike. I know it's a ghost, but it's just still like, and that's what's scarier about it.
Something off.
And then that title sequence.
The
Insidious big.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Do you know the first time I watched that? I like I said, I got goosebumps now talking about it. The first time I seen that film, right? I can't remember how old I was. I wasn't that young, maybe like 15, 16. I've never experienced anything like it. And I was like, this is the bar now. This is James Wan has set the bar here. Everything else needs to be scarier than this.
100%.
But the opening of this movie for me is probably the most effect I've had from an opening movie. And the film doesn't let up. And that's what makes this opening better, is because the rest of the film holds up as well as the opening.
100%. And that title sequence, the title screen with the Insidious, that's my favourite, most disturbing. I don't know why it's so creepy. It's just the music and the size of the writing.
It's the scariest title sequence there's ever been.
Easily, great pick.
Yeah.
Okay, our last pick is a shared pick. It's a classic. So before we had the MCU with Marvel, before we had the Matrix with all the leather, and before we had fucking Twilight.
Say that with a bit more anger, Jens.
We got fucking Blade. Okay, honestly, Blade is fucking awesome, and it stars in his prime Wesley fucking Snipes.
Yeah, of course. This is an absolute classic. I watched this for the first time when I was about 10. I had it on VHS.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I idolized this guy. He is such a cool character, such a great film. It's a great fine line between flat out horror and superhero movie.
Yes.
I was shocked when I found out it was a Marvel, because I was young when it came out. I didn't understand. I couldn't believe it was a Marvel movie, but we are talking about the opening, and Jenks, it is probably the greatest opening of all time.
Amazing.
You've got that obnoxious dick when he's like walking through the meat factory, and he's like, "Oh, what's that? Whoa," like that. And he gets in the club, and he's like,
his hat.
straight away, stupid Kangol hat.
Yeah.
And he's like grinding up against all the women, and you know something bad's going to happen
they're
to
not
him.
pushing him away.
Yeah. You know something bad's going to happen to him, and you're kind of welcoming it at this point. But you've got that great Operation Blade playing.
Yes.
Just the most iconic song ever from a film. I don't know, was it called Operation Blade before the film? Or?
Probably. I think, was it made for the film and they just rebranded it? Who knows?
But yes, he gets into this party, right? It seems like a secretive party. It's hidden in a meat factory.
Yeah.
And everyone's there having a great time.
I think it's a P. Diddy party, isn't it?
No, that would be baby oil coming out of the the things on the roof.
And blood.
Yeah. But yes, unfortunately, he's in like this kinky vampire party where the beat drops and then all blood comes from the sprinklers.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it's such a scary scene. I can remember being terrified by this.
Yeah.
I think I was like 10 watching it. But yes, then you get Wesley Snipes' entrance as Blade. You've got the douche crawling across the floor, and he bumps into the bottom of his foot.
Oh, so good.
But what's great about it, right, is the camera pans up, and it's Blade standing there, and you know everyone fears him because the music stops and you hear someone say, "Oh my God, it's the Daywalker."
Yeah.
And then you've got the biggest ass kicking you'll ever see.
Yeah, and do you know what I love? When I watched that film, I saw in the cinema and it blew me away.
Jealous, if anything.
Oh, it's so cool. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, he's the one person you need in that moment. Oh, thank fuck you, Blade. And like nobody else.
Yeah.
Either him or Judge Dredd, one of the two. and I just be like, thank fuck. Blade
Yeah,
is
yeah.
here to kick ass, and it's awesome.
Oh, and
Absolutely awesome.
he does kick ass, and it's some of the best choreography I've ever seen. Do you know the way the cameras move in and the moves that Wesley Snipes pulls?
Yeah.
I don't know if he could pull it off that well anymore, but this is just probably one of the most well put together opening scenes ever. I know everyone talks about it. It's made iconic by the music as well.
Yeah.
But oh my God, when he arrives and the first scene you get with Blade, you know this guy is going to kick ass the whole film. Oh my God.
It's and you know when the guy is walking through the crowd and the blood's coming down and he's all disorientated, and then one of the vampires punches him, and it's just like,
It's personal.
and it's horrible because you do feel for him because you're thinking,
Yeah,
you are
of course.
fucked, mate. You are
Yeah.
absolutely fucked. Yeah.
He's in a room with ravenous vampires
Yes.
drinking blood from sprinklers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hated that punch bit. Not as a film choice. It always made my stomach turn because
Yes.
that feeling of being in a room where everybody wants to kill you.
Yeah.
But then the punch was a bit more personal, like fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're unwelcome, and it reminds you of like a real club with real twats and they're
Oh yeah,
vampires.
100%. Because it happens, like you're walking through the dance floor, you'll get a few dickheads. Do you know what I mean? Someone will badge you and push you, and this, yeah.
Especially in Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, apparently they've ditched the remake of this, so it's indefinitely. It ain't coming out. And
It's
good.
in limbo.
Fuck it. These are the Blade 1 and 2 are the only Blades you have to watch. Forget about the third one.
And because, right, this opening is so iconic, they're going to have to try and top this one. Yeah. So that's the bar. It's not just any old opening. People talk about this opening, right?
Yes,
People
famous.
love it. It's really famous. So if you do get the remake done, which I think Mahershala Ali is a great choice, right? I think he could be a good Blade, but they're going to have to try and top this opening, and I don't think they can do it.
Nah, no chance. Right, guys, if you enjoy horror rankings, reviews, please subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.